What's going on, guys? Welcome on in for a recap. We have a break-even trade on oil. So let's recap it. Should be a pretty quick video. Technically, we lost 70 cents on this trade. And my initial risk, this is based off when I made the entry. I adjusted this, so I'll show you what I mean in a second. But I was risking 176 to make 203, so it's just north of a 1-to-1. That's actually a 1.15 to 1. But this was essentially a bear flag breakdown that was a false breakdown. So this was really just a failed breakdown. Simple as that. So I'm going to put that down there, and then I'm going to play. It was on the 1 hour chart. So I'm just going to log those two things. So we have that data to track, and it is going to be tracked. All right, let's get into the chart and talk about what I was looking for, what I saw. Oh yeah, here is the chart on the platform that I trade with. So if I jump into it, like realistically what happened was we had this look, we had oil gapping down over the weekend, or I guess, it was Monday morning. And then I just happened to just check it out. I'm like, oh, well, it looks pretty, pretty weak. But big picture, I look at oil and I go, well, it's coming down into an area of interest because this is an area seemingly, we held some support before. So I'm like, that's a pretty big move down overnight. Not that it means that you can't go lower. It could. It was down over 6%. Hey, it could go lower. But then I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Didn't really think I would trade it. And then I just happened to stumble across this 1 hour chart. And I go, well, that looks really interesting. So at the time, this candle hadn't fully developed. And so what I ended up doing was I saw we had a clean breakdown here that was just wicked under. And then we had been pushing back up. So I go, okay, I'm going to get in. I enter in as we break above the prior 1 hour candle high right there. It's like right there. And I immediately put my stop loss at low of day. Now, I quickly moved that up to underneath the breakdown low. So this number that you're getting in here immediately kind of came back up. Like I didn't have my stop that low. I actually moved it up a bit. So the risk reward was a little bit better. And then I adjusted my take profit, I believe, a little bit higher. So my take profit is more like 225, 230 based off what we have on this chart. I think my original spot was like I forget exactly where I had it, but it was like it was 5 cents higher than the high of day. All I know is this. So what ended up happening was the trade technically worked. Like for all intents and purposes, the trade worked. I ended up stopping out break even because when I went to bed on Monday night, we were somewhere in here. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm not interested in waking up tomorrow morning for this to hit my entire, stop loss here. We essentially had the winning trade. I just had my target a little bit higher. So I'm going to move my stop to break even, which is what I normally do when we approach our take profit. Just for the situation like this, in the case of, well, I guess technically this would have held it never hit the stop, technically speaking. But in the case of these situations where I go, we almost got the take profit. If I was off by a couple of cents, in the case of this, I literally was off by a couple of cents. I do not want to lose my entire position. So at this point, the trade's kind of dead. It kind of just, it's not really doing anything. So my reversal kind of starts to die out. And that's why I moved my stop to break even and went to bed. You could say, I look back and you can say that, if you just left it alone, you would have hit take profit because we would have come very, very close to stopping me out overnight while I was sleeping. And then I would have woken up and then, shortly after I woke up, would have hit take profit. You could have said, yeah, you just leave it alone and you would have made $250 or $230, where it was. Maybe. That's how I do things. And I prefer to do it that way because if I don't, my view is the trade momentum is there. I play momentum. So when we have a breakdown right here, usually that means, okay, are we going to get the continuation? If we don't get the continuation, I'm looking for an immediate bounce back. And if we don't get the immediate bounce back, you're kind of in between. And so you play this game in between. And when you're playing in between, it's not really my strategy. It's kind of just like in between. You're kind of fucking around. It's just it's not, there's no clear momentum. And I don't want to play in times when there's no clear momentum. I want to play in times when we have momentum. So that's really kind of the whole approach. That's all I really care about. That's the trade recap. Break-even trade on the month. We are down $1,400 pretty much, which is this is on pace, I believe, to be the worst month of the year. We'll see how that ends up panning out, but it is on pace to be the worst dollar amount month of the year with a win rate of 15.79%. Pretty fucking shit. But I've got one winning trade, dude. I got a partial take profit, and then I got one winning trade. You know, the rest all lost, essentially. So what can you say? I'm currently in a couple other positions. Not a couple. I mean, I have 2 weekly swings on big time frames, and then I have a daily swing on Walmart. So we'll see what happens there. I'll leave a link to TradeZella below if you're interested in using them. Like always, you can save 10% with code TC10, I think. Not I think, I know. Hopefully it's still valid. And I'll see you guys in the next recap. Peace.